Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Merrie and this is my first ever video on YouTube. I am so excited. This video is inspired by the look that Kim Kardashian wore that was created by Mario for the Met Gala recently. It was an amazing look and I actually posted on my Instagram a few of my favorite looks from the Met Gala and asked my followers what look they'd be most interested in seeing me recreate, but they didn't know that it was for my first ever YouTube video, so that's fun. But I had an overwhelming response of requesting Kim's look, which I cannot blame you because it was an amazing look. I mean, Mario is so talented. So I hope that you enjoy this tutorial. I'd love it if you'd subscribe to my channel and have an amazing day. So I've already primed my eyelids just with concealer and powder, and the eyeshadow palette that I'm going to be using is the Dose of Colors Baked Browns palette. It looks like this. And I felt like this would just be the perfect shades for the look we are going for. I'm going to use my BH Cosmetics V5 blending brush, my favorite blending brush ever, and go into this first shade, this middle one. And first I'm just going to kind of blend it in the crease softly. Kind of wing it out more and blend it up higher. Same thing on the other side. I'm going to go into that same shade and create kind of a halo eye. So I'm going to go on the outer corner of the eye first, just kind of stamping the color and laying it down. And then kind of winging it out, because she does kind of have that winged out shade rather than like a rounded halo eye. And now I'm going to go on the inner corner of the eye. And then I'm going to just blend it into the crease again to just make sure everything is connected and blended. Like that. Okay, so we've laid down that first shade. We're looking good, and now we're going to go into this kind of rust colored shade with the same brush, and I'm going to go ahead and continue that halo eye that we're creating. First going to stamp it down on the outside corner and then kind of wing it out. And it's better to start with a smaller amount of shadow and build it up than go in with a ton on your brush and make a big mess. Sorry, I keep on looking in the screen rather than into the camera. I'm still getting used to this whole filming thing. I apologize. Okay, so most of the product has left the brush, so I'm going to just very gently continue that winged out shape and kind of feather the product up. And then taking a little bit on the inner corner. Same thing on the other eye. Now I am going to grab a smaller blending brush to go into that deepest shade. And I'm going to be really, again, light-handed with this. And I'm not going to bring it into the crease at all, just keep it really low for that halo eye. I'm going to grab that same bigger blending brush and I'm going to grab just the tiniest bit of both of these shades to just kind of blend out the outer corner, make sure everything is smooth. Okay, now the fun part, we get to create that sparkly middle of the halo eye. And looking at the picture, it actually looks like it's slightly going, let's see if you can see this. It looks like it's slightly going kind of like out in a diagonal, very slightly, not like super crazy diagonal. And it looks like there is glitter and just a lot of different things going on in that shimmer. So I'm gonna actually kind of build it up with a couple of different products. Hopefully it turns out how I'm imagining. So the first product I want to lay down is the ColourPop Ultra or Super Shock Shadow in the color Amaze. This is one of my favorite products, has been for years. I'm just gonna take some on my finger and I'm gonna lay it down. Then I'm gonna grab a flat synthetic brush to kind of perfect it. Kind of do what I can't really do very easily with my finger. And then I'm gonna grab that big fluffy brush and just make sure that the edges are blended. I'm not adding any additional product at this point. Okay. The next product I'm wanting to go in with is some actual glitter. It's the Stila Glitter and Glow Liquid Eyeshadow in the color Kitten. And I'm going to use a brush for this. I'm thinking I'm gonna do this kind of more centrally on the lid. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pick up some of that glitter. Oh yes, that's what I want. I'm feeling pretty good about that. I'm gonna let it kind of dry. And something that I want to try, I don't know exactly how this is going to turn out, so we might have to kind of play with it, but I want to put this really white, bright shade from the Armed and Gorgeous Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette just like in the very, very center. Let's see how that turns out. Oh yes, I do like that. So now what I'm going to do is I want to blend, basically I want the shimmer and glitter to be really like centrally located on the lids, but I want it to also blend well with the mattes. So we're gonna kind of do a couple of steps to achieve that. I'm gonna take that same fluffy brush and first I'm gonna actually kind of clean up the crease of the eye a little bit. So I'm gonna go into the very first eyeshadow that we used in the Baked Browns palette and just kind of go over the crease. Now I'm going to dip in to this shade and this shade in the Jaclyn Hill palette. They're both shimmers and I'm going to use them to kind of blend out the edges so that the glitter shimmer area and the mattes are kind of blended together. So just really lightly feathering that along the sides. I'm actually going to go in with the flat brush and go into this bronzy color and really kind of pack that along the edge, the edges of the shimmer, because I really want it to be well blended. I don't want it to be like chunky glitter just right next to the matte, if that makes sense. Okay, so now we're gonna go back in with the small blending brush. We're gonna go back in to the Baked Browns palette and then just deepen out the outsides of the shadow again. So I'm gonna go into this darkest shade. I don't know why I keep on leaning like that. I know this seems like a lot of steps, like going back and forth between the mattes and the shimmers. That's because it is a lot of steps, but that's just the best way that I've found to create a really blended eye for this kind of look. If you just slap on the mattes, slap on the shimmers, it can look kind of divided and chunky, which I'm not a huge fan of that look. So that's why I kind of like to go back and forth. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about where we're at with the eyeshadow. So let's move on to liner. My favorite eyeliner ever right now is the Essence Super Precise eyeliner. It's long-lasting, waterproof. It's a liquid eyeliner with a little brush, and it's so perfect for creating just such tiny little lines. So that is what I'm gonna do. Just a really tiny line across the top lash line, not winging it out at all or anything. Okay, now I'm gonna kind of smoke and smudge that out a little bit with that darkest brown eyeshadow from the Baked Browns palette. I like to lay down that thin black line first and then kind of smudge it out is what we're going to do. So I'm using a flat definer brush from Morphe, just dipping into that darkest brown and just kind of wiggling it right along the black. Let's go ahead and pop on some mascara. First curling our lashes real quick. Okay, now let's clean up all this fallout and glitter that's fallen out all over the face, just with a makeup wipe. I'm going to prime my skin by mixing two primers actually. This right here is the Maybelline Master Prime, the Blur and Smooth primer, and I've been using this for my everyday makeup and really loving it. But to create more of a glow, since we are going to for a glowy to the max kind of look, I'm gonna mix it with the MAC Strobe Cream. So I'm just mixing that in my fingers and I'm going to apply it with clean fingers all over my whole face. For foundation, I'm going to use one of my current favorite foundations. It is the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation. This stuff truly just makes you look so perfect, which for a Kim Kardashian makeup look I felt was appropriate. So with my Real Technique sponge, I like to kind of take it off my hand little by little and first just evenly distribute it all over the face. I used to kind of just put it on in globs and then blend out the globs, but I'm actually really enjoying this way better of kind of first getting it on there evenly and then starting to really go in and blend. Making sure to get the ears and bringing it down the neck a bit. My favorite product for cream contouring is definitely the LA Girl Pro Conceal. I'm going to use the color Almond. These are so inexpensive and they're so easy to cream contour with. They have a little brush. I'm going to apply this to my cheekbones. And I'm going to apply it nice and high on the cheekbone so that we don't blend it down lower than we need to. We're going to do the nose. And the sides of the forehead. And I'm going to use this side of my Real Technique sponge to blend this. Make sure to blend up with the cheek contour. We don't want to blend down or else it really defeats the purpose of creating a really lifted, sculpted cheekbone. Okay, I'm gonna kind of like squish this to make it a little thinner to go over the nose. I'm really pulling the hair back to blend all around the hairline. I love the way that this cream contour looks. Like, it blends out so perfectly. I feel like there's some cream contours that are like way too thick and they're hard to blend out. And this is the perfect consistency. I love it. Now we're going to highlight the face with concealer. My favorite product is the Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation Plus Concealer. I love this as concealer. It reminds me a lot of Tarte Shape Tape, but it's a little more creamy and hydrating, and the coverage is just amazing, and the way it looks under your eyes is phenomenal. So I'm gonna mix two colors, 0.5 Breeze and 2 Alabaster. I'm going to do just a tiny bit under the contour. So I am going to flip over to the side with the contour product to blend in where the two meet. Okay, I just set under my eyes with the RCMA No Color Powder. I feel like the second that I blend out my under eye concealer, it's like this race like to immediately set it before it can get any creases, so that's why I was like rushing to do that. Now I'm going to lightly set the rest of my face with that same powder. And even though this is a really dewy, kind of wet makeup look, I still want to set everything just for locking it in place, but don't worry, it'll still end up very dewy with the rest of the products that we'll be incorporating. So, and I am being really light with the powder. I'm using a looser, lighter brush rather than like a dense brush so that we can apply it more lightly. Okay, let's throw some eyebrows on, shall we? My favorite eyebrow product, believe it or not, is the e.l.f. Brow Duo Kit. These are $3 and they are amazing. I absolutely love them. Now we're gonna pull out the eyeshadow again and just make sure that everything is literally perfect. So I'm gonna grab these two shades and kind of make sure that we're winged out how much we want to be. And just kind of make sure everything's perfectly blended. And now we're going to take a flat definer brush with the darkest brown, stamp that along the lower lash line. And I'm taking it all the way across because she was quite smoky on the lower lash line. Now I'm taking a short, dense brush and mixing these two shades to smoke that out. And connect it with the eyeshadow on the upper lid. Okay, I'm taking another eyeliner that is so great in my life right now. It's another Essence eyeliner and it's the Extreme Lasting Waterproof Eye Pencil, and I'm going to tightline the upper and lower waterlines with this. Okay, let's pop on our lashes. So in Kim's look, I feel like the lashes were kind of spiky. They weren't like super over the top. Well, they were pretty dramatic. I grabbed my House of Lashes Iconic Lights. I feel like that is a pretty good match, so let's pop those on. It is so important with lash glue, once you've applied it, to wait, I wait usually a full minute before applying them. Otherwise the glue is still wet and they just slip and slide everywhere. I also like to kind of bend the lash like this so it'll fit more to the curve of my eye. So I usually put the glue on and then do something else on my face while I'm waiting for the glue to get tacky. Here it is. So I'm going to dip into that bright white shade again in the Armed and Gorgeous palette for the brow bone highlight. It seemed like her brow bone was really beaming, so we're not going to be shy. Okay, and then I'm going to take that same shade as the inner corner highlight. I like to secure them to the outer corner first and then grab my tweezers to do the inner corner. All I can really say is, oh, how lashes transform a look, right? We went from looking a little crazy to a little more put together. Okay, so we are going to spray the face with the Morphe Continuing Setting Mist. And I really focus that on the outer perimeter of my face. The reason I did this is because it's going to intensify the highlight that we apply. That's a trick that I love when you want a more glowing highlight, is to apply setting spray first. And I'm trying to decide, let's use, yeah, we're gonna use the Becca Cosmetics Champagne Pop Highlighter, one of my favorites of all time, of course. And I'm going to apply that pretty generously to my cheekbones. Oh yes. And then I'm taking a little on my finger to get the tip of my nose. And then I'm squishing the brush to get the bridge of the nose. And then hitting the Cupid's bow and the chin, and then I'm taking what's left on the brush and hitting the forehead as well. What's left on the brush and hitting the forehead as well. So we're looking pretty glowy. I am gonna grab just a little bit of powder bronzer. And I really feel like I actually just want to apply that mainly on the cheekbones. I'm going to do a little bit around the forehead, but not much. I'm grabbing the Morphe 8C palette. It's the cool toned one. And I think I'm going to dip into Hot, Free, and It Girl. Yeah, and we'll just stop there. I love blush, but this is not a super blush heavy look. Okay, time for lips. So she had nude, very glossy lips. I am going to grab this nude lip liner. It's the Milani Color Statement Lip Liner in Spice, and I'm going to overline my lips a bit. Now I am taking the ColourPop Ultra Satin Lip in Aquarius, which this is one of my favorite lip products ever. I've gone through so many bottles of this and I love it. It is the perfect nude. So I'm just gonna fill in the lips with this. Oh, I love that color. Every time I put it on or put it on a client, I'm just like, oh, perfect, perfect nude. Okay, so I definitely want to use a gloss. And I'm thinking I am going to use the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Fortune Cookie. It's a really pale nude and it's just great. It's a classic. So let's apply this. It's gonna look a lot better when my hair is not how it currently is. I'm gonna use the Neutrogena Ultra Sheer Body Mist Sunscreen. I heard about this from Scott Barnes and it makes you glow. It makes you dewy, like on another level. It's great for body and over your makeup as well, and under your makeup and just wherever. So I'm gonna spray this all over. Oh yes. Oh yes, we're looking very glowy. And I really like it. I'm gonna lock that in with one more spray of my Morphe. Whew. Guys, this is the final look. I really hope that you enjoyed watching this tutorial and that it was helpful and fun for you. Thank you so much for watching. It really means more than I can say. This has been something that I've wanted to do for such a long time and I am doing it now. I am so excited. I have so many fun videos planned and I just can't wait for what's coming. So I hope you like this look. I do really like how it turned out, and I also just wanted to say that if you have any suggestions or things that you'd like to see in a next video or anything that would even just make the video a little better, please feel free to leave a comment down below. I definitely want to improve and be the best that I can be. Something that I already know I'm going to do next time I film is I'm going to put my table in front of me, because I actually have it to the side of me and I feel like I was just like all over the place during this whole video and like turning sideways and stuff. And so I'm gonna just work on my setup and improving that and hopefully just get better and better. So thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day. Bye.